Welcome to another Explore Everyday travel vlog. Today is March 13th and we are just hours away from an epic snowstorm here in the Twin Cities that may be measured not by inches but by feet. So we are going to go back to August of last year in Austin, Texas, and I went to photograph the Congress Avenue Bridge bats as they leave their roost at night. I give some tips and tricks on how to best position yourself to photograph these bats. And had a fun time on a hot summer night. So if my timing's right for releasing this video, I'll be in the middle of a snowstorm. So let's go somewhere warm. Here we go. Welcome to Austin, Texas, and another Explore Everyday travel video. I am making my third attempt at capturing the Austin bats out of the Congress Avenue Bridge. And I'm pretty uncomfortable right down here across the city of Austin videoing, but here we go. So tonight the bats are expected to fly sometime between 8:20 and 8:50. Last night they flew at 8:23. So we're here in the middle of August. And the good news is the pups are now leaving the roost, so that should add quite a few more bats to the air, and the parents aren't staying behind. So maybe that was some of my problems when I was down here last year and the year before. I think I was more in July and June when I was trying. So hopefully third time's a charm. We got about half hour, 40 minutes before maybe the bats start flying. So I'm gonna try to find a good spot to set up, and let's see if we can capture some bats tonight. This is the Congress Avenue Bridge in downtown Austin, where up to 1.5 million Mexican free-tailed bats live and roost throughout the year. When in Austin and my schedule allows, I try to be along the shores of Lady Bird Lake to watch the thousands of bats head out of the city to feed on up to 30,000 pounds of bugs nightly. Late summer evenings with calm wind are a great time to take in the bats. This particular trip was in August and I had high expectations for a large flight. Flight size can vary based on weather, how many pups are leaving the roost to feed, and how many bats left the previous night. This is all tracked and viewable on a number of websites to help plan your viewing of the bats. And the bats are big business. There are nightly boat tours on pontoons for optimal viewing of the bats. One of these trips, I'm going to have to take in the view from the water.
Mosquito covers.
Yeah.
this trip, I only brought my Sony A7S III and toggled between video and photos as the bats took flight. There were definitely no award-winning photos taken, as it's a challenge to capture little black bats flying 30 miles an hour while it's getting darker by the minute, but I sure had fun trying while taking in the nightly migration. Part of the allure to photograph the bats is to capture them in their environment, which is downtown in a major city. I want to show the Austin skyline with the bats as part of the story. The problem is, little black flying animals in the dark disappear against the backdrop of buildings. So I used the gaps in the skyline to my advantage so the bats would be silhouetted against the sky. If you're ever in Austin and want to take in the bats, there are 3 main areas to watch and photograph the bats. Well, I guess 4 if you count from a boat. On this trip, I was on the south side of the river, opposite of downtown. This puts you close to the bats as they leave the bridge. For a better sunset background, staying on the downtown side is better. But note, both sides of the river are pretty dense with trees. The other spot to watch is from the bridge and be at eye level with the bats. When I watched on the bridge once, I recall feeling queasy holding my phone near the edge as people were moving about. One wrong little bump and your phone or camera will be filming fish on the bottom of the river. To wrap up this adventure, before I left downtown for my hotel out in Cedar Park, I took one last panoramic shot of the Austin skyline. Boy, has this view changed in the 15 years I've been going to Austin. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next Explore Everyday video.